I hope my screen is visible to you all. Hello. Is my screen visible to you all?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So I'm on the page number 12, and the page number 12 is saying that organization should emphasize the importance of incident detection and analyze throughout the organization. Now take care about it. Now, if someone is saying, okay, that a particular node or a particular system is having the different kind of IP addresses or different kind of traffic together from 10 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. Let's talk about it. Now, from 10 a.m. to 10:30 a.m., when the traffic is going to increase like anything, that means there is some particular incident which is happening. But I cannot say that this is a particular incident until unless I confirm it. If you do remember, because many of the time the security hacks are getting executed, and because of that, but the companies take some time. The organization takes some time to evaluate whether it is an incident or whether it is just a kind of normal activity which is scheduled to be tested. So based on that particular thing, I can say, okay, whether it is an incident or not. So how will you get to know that this particular incident is there? Into this particular sense, your logs are really going to help you a lot. When you say logs, so every system, there are going to be the network log, there are going to be the system logs, there are going to be the SSH logs, there are going to be the FTP logs, which takes care about the session is created at what time, from which particular system, how exactly the traffic is moving. So you must be able to see the network log as well whenever you are going to start the service of the firewall. So that time the logs are going to contain the information about which kind of traffic or intrusion prevention system, not the detection but the prevention system, which is going to tell you that, okay, this kind of traffic was hitting to the website, and after seeing the logs only I can say that, okay, I need to move ahead till in this particular direction to take care about my security. Or the logs are going to tell you that, okay, the how exactly the security is functioning. The very first thing you need to understand when you go for the vulnerability and the security is both goes hand in hand. The objective of the vulnerability is to find out the exploitable functionality of your system, whereas the objective of the security to take care about the intactness of the system even if the vulnerabilities are exploited. So there is not going to be any problem on to the confidentiality, integrity as well as the availability of the system. Are you getting my point? All my dear students, Palakjit, Rohit, Satvik, Sukanya, Muskan. So we are discussing how exactly the organization is emphasize the importance of incident detection, and that is a major reason why we take care about automation is needed to perform an initial analysis. Fine, but where are the logs? I need to take care about the logs. Logs are generally by default is going to be there onto your system always. They are going to be created onto your system always. But just make sure about it. And everyone is aware of that the logs are by default created onto your system. So there is always going to be the centralized logging repository. If you go into the Linux system or Windows system in more detail, you will get to know how to take care about the logging information, how to take care about the security, the transferring the logs from one particular end to another end, so that I can secure the logs. You must have seen the picture. Everything is really, I'm really okay if my data is lost. But I'm not at all okay that if my logs are lost. Just because logs are going to give me the complete information about how the accessibility is maintained over my system. So automation is needed to perform the initial analysis. Why? Because the logs are really huge in size. Even if you truncate the logs, they are going to be created again and again. So logs are really going to be quite, big in size. But in that particular sense, you need to address this particular scenario that you need to take care about the logs. Fine. Now, effectiveness of the process depends on the quality of the data that goes into. Organization should establish the logging standards. Now, for example, to create the log, try to understand your system, your web application is trying to accept the username as well as the password. When it tries to accept, so if I'm going to create the logging information that, okay, this was the username and the password, then the things are really going to be bad. So I need to take care about which kind of logging information I'm supposed to log. I can say, okay, there is an accessibility point from this particular, or there was an accessibility from this particular IP address. But I cannot log the username as well as the respective credentials. So what to log and what not to log, because if the logs are being hacked, your system is going to go very badly. So you need to take care about the information which is going to be logged as well. So there could be the question at in the examination as well that, okay, just prove that why the logs are important. So you need to find out the ways by which the you can take care about the logs. So just hold on for a second, let me show you the SSH logs. I'm trying to find the SSH logs and see here. Just hold on. Because logs may not be available directly to you because,
Ma'am, your screen isn't shared.
yeah, because I'm trying to find out the SSH
Okay,
logs
okay.
on the bookup. Just hold on. Yeah. So let me open it up for you. Yeah. So this is the screen. Are you able to see right now? I'm having the GitHub repository with me, and this is the Linux system. Just hold on. Yeah, see, here is the log file. Yeah, this is a simple log file what I'm trying to show you. And if you can see here, it is showing you authentication failure. Are you able to see? Just take care about what is the log name, UID. The username is not written, but what is the UID? TTY is terminal. What is the TTY? What is the R user? What is the R host? You can see the IP address is also mentioned over here. These are the sample logs what I'm trying to show you for SSH. Now the second thing you can see that the session opened for user Cirrus. See here by UID. So it is also mentioned. So what information to log? So if I can see, if I can hack this particular log file, I can say, okay, the Cirrus was logged in from this particular point at June 15 at 4:06 p.m. you can say, or a.m., whatever the things are. And then it is actually log rotate means you are going to create a new file again for the log. So you can see here, just look at the session is getting opened for the new user, session is closed for the user news, then the authentication is going to fail, and so on and so forth. So just look at, so here if the question comes to you that how exactly the log files are going to be going to take care about the information. So the information is going to be the log file contains the information about, this is the SSH log file what I'm trying to show you. This contains the information about who is the user who logs in, who is the user who actually creates a session, the IP address of it, the terminal which is getting used. Now you can see that there is one more log which is being created for the FTP. Are you able to see? See here, the connection from this particular IP address at Friday, June 17th. So everything is getting locked. So when you say the organization policies to see, so when you take care about the vulnerability over the for the log files, you need to address this issue that what to log and what is not going getting logged. If the important information is not getting logged and the person, the hacker is aware of, okay, this, even if I log in into the system, this is never going to be logged out. Sorry, this is never going to be logged in. So in that particular sense, you need to address that if the user is aware of the fact that the information is the authentication is not getting logged in. So in that particular sense, this is a vulnerability, because for the critical applications, each and everything should be logged into the log file. Are you getting, my dear students, what I'm trying to tell you? Hello? Hello? Am I audible? Hello? Am I audible to you all? Palakjit, Rohit, Satvik. We are discussing the logs, which information which is getting generated. Muskan. Am I audible, dear students?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
Is
Are you
audible.
getting what we are discussing? We are discussing the logs. Avi, are you with me? Avi,
Yes,
Karen, are
ma'am.
you
Yes,
with
ma'am.
me? So here, see here. It is quite interesting stuff when you go with the logs of SSH. Now let me tell you if I am able to find the log of HTTPD. Yes. Yeah. So this is the particular sense what you need to understand. Let me see. Yeah, the Apache HTTP server logs. Let me see whether I'm able to find it or not. No. Shall I share the link with you for the SSH logs? You can just have a link. Okay. I've shared the link with you for the SSH logs. Let me tell you for HTTPD logs. Yeah. So let me share my screen again for the HTTPD logs. Yeah. So just look at the HTTPD logs here. I'm trying to share, and just look at here. It is quite interesting thing. You can see the IP addresses. You can see the date. You can see the GET request. Are you able to see the, my dear students? See here from Mozilla you are having. Hello, my dear students.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
if you are developing the web application as well, the accessibility to the get and post request as well as the accessibility to each and every information must be getting logged. So into your system, try to find out the logs for HTTPD, logs for SSH or any of the service which is running, which is really going to give you the understanding about which particular information is getting logged. And as a vulnerability assessor, this is your primary responsibility to check that how exactly the logs are being saved, how exactly at what particular frequency the new logs are supposed to be archived, because logs are pretty expensive or pretty costly, you can say, if you lose it. The reason behind that is because it contains each and every accessibility information. So you need to understand the importance of the log files, and that is the major reason why I have actually, taken care of this particular NIST guidelines, which is going to tell you that you need to take care about understanding the logs, the way it is getting generated. So if the question comes to you, the organization should emphasize the importance of incident detection. The incident detection is always going to go through the log files. Fine. Now, based on the links what I have shared with you, can you write down to, I'm giving you one particular question onto the chat box and write down the answer for me. We'll discuss. Okay. Explain the importance of incident detection and how log files support this work with the example of SSH and HTTP. Can you write it right now? I'm just giving you 5 to 7 minutes. I want the discussion to start at around 12:05, you can say. So just formulate the answer for this particular question. Fine. All the students, am I audible to you? I have put the question into the chat box. Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Any question, dear students? I hope you are able to write it. Hello.
Ma'am, I have a question.
Yes, please go ahead.
Ma'am, you said that each and everything should be logged.
Yes.
Then won't that give the attacker sensitive
Exactly.
information
So what
of
to log?
passwords and
So
all?
here, when you take care about the SSH, when you take care about the SSH, I need to log that who is. I can okay, take an example about let's say I'm login as a Tejaswini user for the SSH. Fine. But I'm having the root permission. So who is accessing that particular SSH? The root privilege user. If I'm going to go with the sudo, fine, Darren. But if I'm just taking care about the Tejaswini, so in that particular case, only Tejaswini is going to access that particular SSH, nothing more than that. But this for the SSH, I need to logged. But if I'm taking care about the web application, in the web application, if I'm having the user authentication, I'm going to put the user credentials. So those user credentials I cannot log. Darren, are you getting my point?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so this is the way I need to move on. I can always log the IP address from where the users is trying to access my service, but I cannot log the user credentials. If I'm trying to change the database information, the database information is going to be taken care by the database engine. HTTP service cannot access or cannot log the information about what is being changed into the database, because the database as well as the HTTP service, they are both not known to each other. They do not know each other. Database is different and the HTTP is different. What the HTTP is going to log? HTTP is going to log only the get and post request. Are you getting, Darren? So if I need to change, if I need to see whether the database is getting changed because of my web application, so I need to take care about the database logs. Not, I cannot find the information into my HTTP log. Are you getting, Darren?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So it doesn't matter to me whether I'm accessing the database through HTTP or through the normal SQL. But remember this particular thing, database service is different and HTTP service is different. HTTP responsibility is to take care about the get and post request. Database responsibility to take care about the modification of the data. So it is meant to log that particular access, whereas HTTP meant to log the get and post, not with the database. If it is meant for the database access, I can do that. But in that case, HTTP service must be having the extra permission to take care about the database logging information. Are you getting there then?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So this is what exactly so what to log and what not to log. It is really an organization policy, you can say, but you cannot log the sensitive information, but you can always log the connection or the transactions which happen for those sensitive information. Are you getting my point, Darren?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. Anyone else? Anyone else? Devraj, Himang, Himesh, Ritik.
No, ma'am.
Are you able to write? Krishnan? Okay. Now the second point, what it is going to tell you. The second point, it is trying to tell you that organization should create written guidelines for prioritizing the incident. When you take care about the written guidelines, now there are two things. For example, let me share my screen again. Okay. So there are two things what you can say. The effect on confidentiality, integrity, or the availability. What is my priority? The priority is to take care about the availability. Doesn't matter that the consistency of the data or the consistency of the information which is going to maintain by the integrity, but I want my system to be there. I want my system to be there. If some attacks happens, the major problem with the attacker, you are going to see that if you lose the control of your network just because of the attacker has taken the entire network control. So there you are not going to take care about that how much data I'm losing or how much confidential information I'm losing. The first priority for you is going to be that how soon you will get the control back. Are you getting, my dear students? Hello? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So when you take care about the prioritizing the incident, those prioritizing the incidents are really going to impact based on your business use case, based on your business availability, based on the business impact, based on the incidents what are happening, based on the what you want. Do you want the availability? Do you want the confidentiality, or do you want the integrity? Based on that, if everything goes well, then I can say, okay, I need to first check the integrity. or I need to first check the availability, then only I can move towards the confidentiality or integrity. Always I cannot go with the CIA. Sometimes I need to go for AIC, or sometimes I need to go for CAI as well. Are you getting, my dear students? Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so try to have. Now one thing I would like to two things I need to give you as assignment right now for you, that try to go with your dissertation project itself. And if some attack happens, what could be the prior, how do you do the prioritization of your incidents, that which to solve first and which to resolve first and which to resolve second. Are you getting, my dear students? If I take care about the healthcare, so I need to take care about the personal information. That is my highest priority. Are you getting, my dear students? So what to expect and what to not, it is really depending on the organization to organization. So can you write down the answer for the same? For your dissertation project, how the things can work. Are you getting, my dear students? Hello. So just visualize the answer. Just 2 to 3 minutes I am giving you to visualize the answer, and then we'll start the discussion again. Yes, my dear students. Are you able to? Are you able to? Hello. Hello.
Yeah, ma'am, we are trying.
Yeah. So just let me know if there is any problem. The question is, for your dissertation project, what could be the how do you take care about the prioritizing the incidents? The incidents with respect to confidentiality, integrity, as well as the availability. Once done, just let me know. Then we need to take care about lesson learned process. This is very much important. So just let me know when we can proceed ahead.
Ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, so my dissertation project is waste management system.
Uh-huh.
So in that we have created a link between the driver that will be the driver of the pickup van for the waste, and the
Okay.
customer that will
Mm-hmm.
be scheduling
Mm-hmm.
a particular pickup.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the network that is linked between them can be exploited, and
Mm-hmm.
that will be the priority, because if that will
No,
be
that is
exploited.
exploited. But in that case, what you need to work for, see, your system should remain intact. Fine.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
exploitation is done. But where your focus is on the confidentiality, your focus is on to the integrity, or your focus is on to the availability. If
Okay,
your
okay.
focus is on to the availability,
Hmm.
because since you are taking care about the waste management system, so your
Yes,
focus must be on the availability, isn't it? Because it
yes,
has to take care every kind of waste always whenever it is required. So in that case, your availability is going to be more important. I may not go for the confidentiality or integrity in that case.
yes, ma'am. Because if
Right?
we will not have the control, then how we will resolve that particular
Exactly,
thing?
exactly. So most of the time, until unless it is a the financial application, in the financial application or into the scientific research application, the confidentiality is really important as compared to availability, right? But when you take care about, for example, Mintra, for example, Flipkart, so into that particular sense, the availability is also that much important. Now, if I take care about your system, Avi, in case of waste management, so there the availability is more important. So your focus is to take care about the availability as compared to the confidentiality or integrity.
Yes, ma'am. Because the personal information is just the name
Uh-huh.
and the phone number. We are just
Yeah,
giving these
so
two.
yeah, so no one is bothered about the
Yes,
confidentiality that much as compared to the availability into your system.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay, ma'am.
Anyone else? Any other question? Rohit, Palakjit, Muskan, Nikhil, Satvik, Sukanya. Now, the last important process you can say from today's discussion is the organization should use the lesson learned. And whenever you are going to create a report for the vulnerability and the penetration testing, the vulnerability and the penetration testing both works with the suggestions. They are never going to implement the changes. Please do remember that particular thing. The important process here you can say is a lesson learned. Lesson learned means what? Because it is going to give you the understanding that what you should do or what you should not do to handle the incidents effectively, or to mitigate the attacks, or to mitigate the exploitation of the vulnerabilities. The first thing what you need to understand that even if the system is getting exploited, the it is going to remain intact with respect to the different kind of defense in depth. You must be able to see the we had a kind of discussion with the Qualis attack, and after that, if you have gone through the entire report, there was the just discussion about that which particular server it has it attacked, and so that the major functionalities, or you can say the domain functionality of the Qualis, they were intact. There was not any kind of problem because of this particular attack. So how exactly these things are working? Defense in depth. Some of the companies, what do they do to take care about all the lesson learned, and there should not be any kind of problems, and to see the behavior of the attacks, they generally create the honeypots. Honeypots, or other word is honey beds as well. So what do you mean by these honeypots? So they try to attract the attackers. So the company or the organization will get to know that which kind of attacks or which kind of the exploitation can be happen onto their system. Are you getting my dear students? Hello. Are you there, my dear students?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So when you go with the lesson learned, this particular lesson learned is really important. The information accumulated from all the lessons meeting should be used to identify and correct the systematic weakness and deficiency in policies and procedure. Now there could be the policy. Policy is to I need to minutely log each and every information. I need to give the permission for the HTTP server to log the information for the database access as well. This could be the policy. See, there is a difference between the policy and the procedures. When you say the policy, I can say, okay, policies are the standards or the general guidelines which needs to be followed. And procedure is nothing but the step-by-step process to follow those many of policies. Policies and the standards are the mandate. I need to have the Windows operating system with the server edition. This is the policy or this is the standard, I can say. The procedure could be how exactly, if it is not there or if it is there, what are the process you need to follow. As simple as that. So policies, if someone asks you what is the difference between the policies and the procedures, policies are the generalized rules what you need to follow or what the organization needs to follow, and procedure is a step by step process to implement those many of policies. So when you take the deficiency or when you take care about the weakness, so the first thing you need to see what are the different kind of policies you need to address, and is there any kind of deficiency into those policies or not. If there are some of the deficiency in the policy and because of that the attack took place, so you need to address those deficiencies as well, because the first thing you need to go for, even if there is the exploitation, your system should remain intact. Fine. So security and privacy is not a kind of one time activity. It is always going to be a kind of reiteration for the policies, for the standards, as well as for the procedures. I'm sorry about there are lots of background noise from my end. I'm really sorry about it. I cannot help with that. But this is the thing what you need to address and how exactly the things can be done. Okay, all the students, how exactly the COVID situation at your end? Is everything good? Take care of your health. I hope I'm audible to you all clearly.
Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Good.
Yes, ma'am. It's not very good out here.
Not very good here also.
Okay, so right now what we'll do is I will just stop here with a very nice thing what I need to give you today. Organization logs to take care about the incident, then they prioritize the incident based on the incident response and based on the solution for prioritizing the incident. We will go for the lesson learned process. So if anyone asks you this particular question, that what is the objective or the importance of the lesson learned process, then we need to take care about three of them. One is the incident detection, one is the written guidelines for prioritizing the incident, and lastly the lesson learned process. And please have this particular documentation with you always. This is the documentation which are the standards maintaining the entire, what you can say, recommendation for the security. Fine. Okay,
Ma'am,
so yes, please go ahead.
ma'am, what was the third one?
Lesson learned.
Lesson learned.
Yes. Go to the page. That's what I hope, Abhi, you have opened up the document at your end.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm saving the bandwidth at my end, but let me tell you the page number. Oops. Yeah. The page number is 12. Fine, 3 of them. Okay. So fine, we'll stop here for today. And I just want to discuss with you the different kind of things. So to keep motivated ourselves during this particular time, because this is a really a different kind of thing which is going on right now. We were actually mentally, we were not ready for it. So we were trying to open the school, we were planning to open the school and the colleges, isn't it, all the students? So now I would like to also, how can we take care about the learning in a different way? When you say the computing, can you just give me the suggestions, all my dear students? Okay, just hold on. Let me stop the recording.